Oh my god, the title of this chapter. Alright, this is chapter 9 of Talking to Dragons. This is for Blue, in which there's a fight, sort of, and they find out where they're going. Oh my god. The hardest part was getting the dragon and the knight to agree about rules. The princess was no help at all. She kept talking about the marvelous tourneys she'd seen and which knights had been wounded. Whenever she did, the dragon would start looking at the knight, and pretty soon he would want to know why I couldn't bite off one of the knight's arms, or at least a hand. The knight would get worried, and the princess would start crying, and Cher and I would have to talk the dragon out of it. As soon as the dragon agreed, the princess would cheer up and start talking about tourneys again. Finally, Shiar told the princess to shut up. It wasn't very polite, but it worked. Well, sort of. The princess didn't stop talking, but as long as she was complaining about Shiara and not talking about tourneys, we didn't have any more problems about the dragon, or getting the dragon and the knight to agree. When we finally decided on the rules, we had to draw a circle in the middle of the clearing for them to fight in. It was harder than it sounds. For one thing, a circle has to be pretty big if a dragon's going to fit inside of it, even if it's a small dragon. Also, the moss in the enchanted forest grows awfully fast. By the time we finished drawing the circle, the first half of it had already disappeared. Oh, Shior watched for a minute, then looked at the knight. Are you sure you have to have a circle to fight? I really do think so, the knight said apologetically. It wouldn't be a proper tourney without it, don't you see? I am sick of proper dragons and proper princesses and proper tourneys, Shior said under her breath. Fortunately, the dragon didn't hear her. I have a feeling Simmering would love Shiara and her rejection of properness. We started redrawing the circle, trying to make the line wider this time. The knight scratched at the moss with his sword. Shiara used a stick. So did I. I didn't think Mother would approve if I used the sword of the Sleeping King to cut moss. Night Witch and the dragon sort of dug at the ground. The princess sat under a tree. Eventually we finished, and the knight and the dragon stepped inside the circle. Well, what are you waiting for? Shiara demanded. Someone has to say go, the knight said in a reasonable tone. Go, I said quickly. Shiara gave me a disgusted look, but she didn't say anything, because as soon as I shouted, the dragon and the knight got started. They were fairly evenly matched. The dragon was much larger, of course, and it had a very good sense of timing, but it didn't have much experience. The knight was wearing armor, which helped, and he was obviously used to fighting, but he was a little awkward most of the time. They were both good at dodging, though, and they managed to take 3 or 4 swings without hitting each other. The dragon was just starting to take another swipe at the knight when a little tree sprouted up in front of him and hit him in the nose. I really shouldn't be surprised. This is enchanted. Oh, I was surprised. I mean, even in the enchanted forest, trees usually don't grow that fast. The dragon was even more surprised than I was. It sort of reared back and its tail came around very fast to balance it. Night Witch was a little too close and had to scramble back out of the way. Hey, watch out, Shiara said. The dragon jumped and swung around, looking as if it expected another tree to pop up behind it. Its tail swung in the other direction, and the end of it caught the knight right in the middle of the chest plate as he was trying to back out of the way. The dragon yelped, the princess screamed, and the knight fell over backward into the pool of water that my sword had made when the princess had tried to take it. Evidently, the pool was a lot deeper than it looked, because the knight sank right out of sight. We all forgot about the fast-growing tree and leapt forward. The princess was faster than either Shiar and I. By the time I got to the pool, she had a hold of the knight. She wasn't quite strong enough to pull him out, but she wasn't letting go either. Shiar got to the pool about the same time I did, and together the 3 of us managed to get the knight out of the water. He was unconscious, and he had a large dent in the armor where the dragon's tail had hit him. The princess checked to make sure he was still alive, and then she burst into tears. Alas, see how sad my fate is. For my love has been grievously injured, I am without protection in this awful place. Ah, woe is me! Is he dead? Asked the dragon from right behind me. I jumped. It peered curiously over my shoulder at the knight. Monster, said the princess, your base attempt to slay my love has failed. No second chance shall you have to harm him while I can stand between you. For if my love be slain, I care not whether I live or die, and thus I now defy you. She threw herself across the knight's chest. The knight coughed, moaned, and opened his eyes. I say, Isabel, he said weakly, that really is a bit uncomfortable. The princess sat up and started weeping all over his face. It didn't seem to make him much more comfortable. The dragon was still peering. That was a very good fight, it said to the knight, except for the last part. My tail still stings. I think I may have sprained it. Is armor always that hard? The knight tried to answer and started coughing instead. The princess cried harder until Shiara said pointedly, I don't think all that water is doing him much good. The princess stopped crying and glared at Shiara for a minute, then turned back to the knight. Somehow she looked a lot more unhappy now that she wasn't crying. I felt sorry for her. Finally, the knight managed to get his coughing under control. He looked up at the dragon and said, I do believe I agree with you about the fight. That trick with the tail is quite good. I don't recall seeing it before. I actually must remember it. Actually, it was something of an accident, the dragon said modestly, but I think I could do it again if I tried. Do you really think it was good? The dragon looking for validation. Oh, quite, the knight said. I got the feeling that he would have tried to bow if he hadn't been lying on his back. I think perhaps he broke one or two of my ribs. I'm sorry, said the dragon. Is that bad? It was certainly a bit uncomfortable, the knight said. I don't really blame. A coughing spasm interrupted him. Oh, that actually. If he's. Ugh. The princess looked alarmed, but she didn't start crying. I saw Shiara watching the princess with a surprised look on her face, and right about then Night Witch sprang up onto the knight's chest. What is this? Go hence and leave my love in peace, cried the princess. You let my kitten alone, Shiara warned. The princess stopped in mid-reach and looked over at Shiara. And shall I neglect aught that may bring comfort to my love in his hurt, she said. Night Witch isn't going to hurt, Shiara started, then paused. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. Go ahead. I stared at Shiara in surprise, but she was watching the princess and Night Witch. The princess got scratched a couple of times before she managed to pick the kitten up and move her. By then, the knight wasn't coughing so hard anymore, but he still didn't seem up to talking. Shiara frowned at him. You don't sound very good, she said. The dragon stuck its head farther over my shoulder. If you can fix him, can I eat him? And asked, hopefully. Night Witch hissed. The knight looked alarmed and tried to say something, but all that came out was more coughing. The princess said no very loudly and looked as if she wanted to throw herself on top of him again. Of course not, Shiara said. You promised. It wouldn't be polite, I added. After all, that was why you had the tourney. The dragon looked hurt. I was just asking. What are we going to do about them? I asked hastily, waving at the princess and the knight. They can't stay here, not when the knight's been injured like that. It's not so bad, really. It isn't, the knight said, looking at the dragon nervously. He started coughing again right away, but it didn't sound as bad as it had before, and he stopped fairly quickly. I suppose you could come with us, I said after a minute. That's frightfully kind of you, the knight said. He looked uncertainly at the dragon. Very kind to invite us to come with you. All of you? I don't know yet, I said. I haven't asked the dragon about its plans yet, but you're quite welcome to join us if you want to. Yes, said Shiara. I'm sure you'll be very useful when the wizard comes back. Wizard, said the knight. He was so alarmed he almost started coughing again. What wizard? Well, actually, there are several of them, I said. Every now and then one of them shows up and tries to do something to us. The last one left when the dragon showed up. I'm sure he'll be back in a little while, Shiara said. Or one of the others will. They've been chasing us all over the enchanted forest. You know, the knight said, I really don't believe it would be a good idea for me to join you. I should almost certainly be a bit of an inconvenience to see. What armor rusts, and with that and the ribs, I'm afraid I'll be a little slow. Thank you terribly, all the same. If you don't come with us, what will you do? I asked. Meow, said Night Witch. Morwen, Shiara said. They can go to Morwen. She'll know exactly what to do for them. Night Witch started purring loudly, sort of like a pepper grinder with rocks in it. That's adorable. That is a really interesting way to describe a purr. I thought about it for a minute. It sounds like a good idea, but will she want to? Morwen seems to like helping people, Shiara said, and I'm sure she can take care of both of them. You know Morwen, said the dragon. I like her. She gives me apples out of her garden. I tried to imagine a dragon eating apples and failed. I could imagine Morwen giving them to a dragon, though. Who's this Morwen? Asked the princess, clasping her hands in front of her. Think you that she could help my love? Indeed? Morwen's sort of a friend of ours, I explained. She lives back that way with a lot of cats, and her house has a kind of strange door. I didn't have any trouble with it, Shiara said, and she has 9 cats. She told me while you were asleep. 9 cats, said the princess, looking puzzled. What has that to do with my love, who is so grievously hurt? I said it wasn't that bad, Isabel, said the knight uncomfortably. Really, I wish you wouldn't make such a fuss. I shall be quite all right in a little, I'm sure. If this woman with the many cats can help you, then we shall go find her. The princess declared with more spirit than she had shown with anything else. For you are my love, and I will have you whole and well. Oh, but really, Isabel, I'm sure Morwen won't mind, Shiara put in. She fixed Daystar up fine. She's even good with wet swords. The princess looked thoroughly confused, but the knight brightened a little. Are you quite sure? Because I'm frightfully wet, sword and armor and everything, and it would be very nice if I could keep it all from rusting. It's rather expensive, you see. I'm sure she could manage that, Shiara said. Of course, you don't have to go. You could stay here and wait for the wizard to come back. The knight didn't argue. I don't think he liked the idea of staying around the dragon, especially if a lot of wizards were going to show up any minute. As soon as he agreed, the princess started telling him how wise and brave and wonderful he was. Shiara looked disgusted, but the knight seemed to like it. He sat up and even managed not to cough very much. Shiara and I gave the knight directions back up the stream and through the woods to Morwen's house. He and the princess said goodbye and started off. That's a relief, Shiara said, when they were out of earshot. For a while I thought you were going to make us go with that stupid princess. It was bad enough having to listen to her here without following her around. I blinked at her. But I thought you changed your mind about her. You were being a lot nicer to her after the knight got hurt. Shiara snorted. So I feel sorry for her. She really cares about that klutz in the tin can. I could tell. It doesn't mean I like her. I still think she's dumber than you are, but I'm glad they're going to see Morwen. I wasn't sure whether Morwen would object or not, but I didn't say anything else about it. By then, the knight and the princess were completely out of sight anyway, and I turned around to see where I'd put the bundle of food and things Morwen had given me. The dragon was staring at me. "Why," it said, "do you have wizards chasing you?" "It's a long story," I said. "I'll be glad to explain, but you might want to make yourself comfortable first." The dragon sighed. "Have you ever tried to be comfortable with a sprained tail?" Shiara giggled. I ignored her. We waited while the dragon tried curling into a couple of different positions. One of them looked sort of like Sue's when he was halfway through getting up on his tail. Finally, the dragon curled itself around a little tree that had sprouted up in the middle of the tourney. "What is with the tree?" "That's better," it said. "Enchanted trees are always more comfortable than regular ones." "Enchanted trees?" Shiara said. "Well, of course," the dragon said. "What else do you expect to find in an enchanted forest? I'm going to have to remember to tell someone about this, though. There haven't been any new ones in a long time." "Maybe that's because the sword." I looked at the tree a little more closely. It was nearly 6 feet tall now, and it seemed to have stopped growing. It didn't look very different from the other trees in the enchanted forest, except that it was a lot smaller than most of them. And of course, none of the other trees had dragons wrapped around them. "You were going to tell me about the wizards," said the dragon. Hold on, I need some water. So, I explained about Mother, and Aunt Terrell, and the sword of the Sleeping King, and everything. It took a long time. The dragon didn't say anything at all while I talked, but its tail twitched a couple of times. Whenever that happened, the dragon winced. "It's very interesting," the dragon said when I stopped. "Where are you going now?" "Morwen told us to follow the stream," Shara said, "and Sue said we should go talk to someone named Kazul." "Well, it's the same thing," the dragon said. "What do you mean?" I asked. The stream goes to the castle, and Kazul lives right outside it. I wonder why she wants to see you." "What castle?" Shara said in an exasperated voice. "And who is this Kazul person anyway?" "It must have something to do with that sword," the dragon said, ignoring our questions completely, "especially if it really does belong to the Sleeping King." "You mean you know something about it?" Shiara said. "Well, then tell us what this stupid thing does." The dragon looked sheepish. Dragons just weren't meant to look sheepish. "I don't know. I'm not old enough yet," I said. "Not old enough?" "That's why I wanted a princess," the dragon said. "Otherwise, Kazul won't tell me anything important until I'm 200. She says that before then, dragons are irresponsible, unwise, and talk too much." He looked faintly indignant. "Well, I don't talk too much." "Really?" "Who is Kazul?" I said. I was getting a little nervous about meeting her. I had never known anyone who could tell a dragon what to do, even a young one. Well, Mother might have been able to get away with it. "Oh, I thought you knew," the dragon said. "Kazul is the king of the dragons." Oh boy, this should be fun. Right, I'm going to read chapter 10 next.